Check, check. I don't know if I'm working. Uh-oh. Let's see. How about now? Can you hear me now? Did I get it going? Okay. All right, what's going on this evening, guys? Joe, Ricky, Mr. Street, Mr. Ivy, Miss Whitney. What's going on, Mr. Creamer, Mr. Kyle Carroll, Mr. Terry Adams? How you guys doing this evening? You guys are doing pretty good, waking up from the hangover and stuff, getting back to reality here. What's going on, Mr. Charles? Mr. Sam, how you guys doing? Mr. Jeffrey. Oh, there we go. I hear that. Me too. I got a little bit of a sore throat, but I made it. What's going on, Mr. Tony, Mr. Pops? Shoot, I'm waiting on rules too. So I guess since we already brought that up, I have already reached out to all the rule guys and stuff. So I'm looking at February 1st as the deadline for the rules, since finals was so yeah, pretty much, Kenneth. Since finals was so late this year, I usually do January 1, but I'm gonna push it back to February 1. I think we got quite a few things to go over, and I think all of our rule books really. So what's going on, Mr. Peach, Mr. Kreitz, Mr. Trauber? So just bear with us for about another 2 months, and we'll have the new rule books together. What's going on, Miss Heather? Um, I know I did see one thing on here that sparked me to go and basically audit all of the dueling demo score sheets. So I've audited all of the first day dueling demo score sheets. I did come across a couple of discrepancies. Mr. Peach was one of them. I resolved that. The other ones were very low in placement, so there was really not issues there. But I did want to let everybody know that uh, I am going back over all that stuff. I think I have some ideas, and we'll definitely come up with some things to put into our process to make sure that doesn't happen again. I apologize for that. Um, but I did just want to let everybody know that that was a thing. So I've already audited the first day, and I think that should be correct at this time. Um, so yeah, catch up on my chat here. All right. So Um, Laughing's good. I do think all in all we had a very good show. Like I said, it's finals, tensions are high. You always got the hiccups. We always learn lessons, I think, on both sides. So I'm looking forward to next year and trying to do it better again. The final results are pretty close to done. I do think there's might be a few still missing out of the day 2 results. But I think for the most part, the day 1 results are pretty much done, Mr. Kreitz. So that's the question we're answering there. What's going on, Miss Rawson? Um, will the final scores be posted to the top 10s? I do think I'm going to have to go through and put member numbers on some of them because it looked like my guys putting the stuff in maybe didn't put member numbers in a lot of them. But if the member numbers are in there, then it will show up on this year's top 10s, which that'll be resetting soon anyways. But once we get the member numbers in there, it will show up on the 23 top 10s to answer that question, Sam. Now, the 3X stuff will start showing up when the website switches to 2024. What's going on, Mr. Went? I am going on vacation starting tomorrow. I think it's really probably the first vacation I've ever been on as an adult, but we haven't really separated life from MECA for going on 3 years now, so we're going to at least step away for 2 or 3 days. I'm going to be taking my rule books with me and going over those while I got some peace and quiet, but I don't know if I'll be on the live next week. If I've got good enough service, I will. If I don't, then I might have to post up. We might skip a live. What's going on, Mr. Thibodeau? Mr. Nilo? How you guys doing this evening? Thanks, Ms. Agency. Let's see here. Have a question about next year. Are you raising points to qualify for Worlds? We have discussed it, and it is a possibility. But it won't be a whole lot. And if we do raise the points, there'll probably be some other stuff that comes along with it that I think some of the competitors will like. But I'm not going to say yes or no right this second. I am going to say it is on the table of discussion. I think we have one of the lowest points requirements there are. And we have a lot of shows. And now that we have the 4Xs on the table and things like that, I think it's fairly easy to get your points. So it is on the table, but it's not anything carved in a stone tablet or anything yet. So, and like I said, I think if we do decide to go that route, there will be a few things that come along with it that'll, it won't be so bad. Thanks, Sam Andreas. What's going on, Mr. Hunt? Oh, well, that's awesome. You already got 45. Looking forward to seeing what you can do together, Mr. Street. You know it, Lauren. We appreciate all you guys, especially the females that come out and support their guys. You know, a lot of the ladies be holding us together. I don't know what we do without them sometimes. So, you know, it's the least we can do. Shannon and I really enjoy seeing, uh, people's significant others and their children getting involved in the hobby. It makes it that much more special and fun when you can do things together. What's going on, Mr. Parody? What's going on, Mr. Crawford? 2 more years in Louisville for finals, huh? I don't know, man. I don't know where you heard that, but no, I'm not tied to that place for any significant amount of time. As of right this second, I don't know what our plans are for. I mean, I have a slight plan, but I don't know where it's going to be, where the location's going to be, or none of that yet. So no, I'm not tied to going back there or anything like that. Just so everybody knows and we're clear on that. I'm not saying that we won't go there again, but I think that we're going to be exploring some other avenues moving forward, and hopefully we'll know something for you guys in the first couple months of the year here. What can we do as competitors to prepare ourselves for the oncoming year? Where would you start? So, I mean, obviously, you're going to want to read your rule book. You're going to want to pick your class. You're going to want to start building towards that. I know I just told everybody we're probably not coming out with the new rule set until probably February the 1st. If I can get through it faster than that, if we can get through that as fast as we can there, it might be a little bit sooner. Um, I'm not expecting a whole lot of changes, but there will be a few. Obviously, I think we found some things we need to address in probably all of our rule books at this point. So we do got a little bit of work ahead of us here in the next month or two. Um, so I guess really, I'd start working with kind of what we got, and if you have questions or anything like that, reach out to myself or Joe or your local judge even, and if you're not comfortable talking to one of us, and if they don't know the answer, that they can get with us, and we can try to give you an answer. I wouldn't do anything super permanent or anything like that uh, until we get the new rules released there. What's going on? I mean, yeah, Deadner's probably a good place to start. What's going on, Mr. Castro? Catching up over here. I could go further south, but it wouldn't be much further if I did. I generally like to be somewhere between basically Indianapolis and Nashville, maybe a little bit farther to the west. But like I said, I don't really have any plans. I have a plan, but I'm not going to speak it into existence on the internet. We're going to have to see how the next month or two goes here, and then I'll know what I'm really doing. But until then, I guess we'll just have to be hanging to hang, huh? Yeah, I don't see us ever going all the way south or all the way north there, Doug. I try to keep it fairly, I don't know, fairly central. I know that means some people have a long drive, but being as we basically do the one location type thing right now, um, we try to keep it fairly central, and that tends to be kind of the area where I said there. Um, I do know we might, at a later time, maybe do something out towards the west too, but that's all yet to be figured out and yet to be seen. Maybe a couple years into the future, but like to see you, Mr. Eddie. What's going on, Mr. Rawson, Mr. Clifford? I'm catching up over here, guys. What's going on, Esteban? Yeah, did you already send me a message at some point, Ricky? I don't know. I know I got a message. I think that they're there too. What's going on, Mr. Dickerson? Thanks, Mr. Wallace. I appreciate the kind words. I hear that, Nilo. It's always bittersweet. We all work so hard all year long. I mean, if you want me to be honest, I feel like it was kind of just like, I don't know, a few weeks ago, I was at the last one, and here we were again at this year's, and I'm sure it's not going to get any slower. Um, you know, it's always a bittersweet moment, always a roller coaster ride. I mean, that's what World Finals is, I suppose. Thank you, Mr. Ruth. What's going on, Mr. Dunham? What's going on, Mr. Wilson? Catching up over here, guys. Mr. Mayo, Mr. Curtis. What's going on, Aaron? Mr. Chris Gordon, Mr. Eric Roof, Mr. Sean Parody. What's going on, Mr. B Craft? What's going on, Mr. Grime? Man, I don't know, Aaron. I've got other stuff to work on this year. Unfortunately, the burning boom might take a little bit longer, sir. What's going on, Mr. Ain't Loud AJ? What's going on? And no, not everybody parked in the arena, Sean. I know we tried. So what else we got going on? Like I said, I hope all you guys have fun. You know, like I said, we're gonna take a few days off here and take a little trip to the mountains for a few days. And after that's over with, I'll be getting on the rules with the rules and ethics guys. And I see you guys out there in the land. I see you. I don't usually entertain you, but I see you and I hear you. And we're gonna do what we can do to push our ball in that direction again. So, you know, if you guys have any suggestions or anything like that that you'd like to see, feel free to send them on over to me. We'll go ahead and get to looking at all that stuff here soon. I know I'm going to take my rule books with me on vacation. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to because I just can't stay away from you guys. But I know, like I said, we're going to have some updates going on there, some clarifications, a few changes, I believe. Like I said, it's World Finals time. I think there's learning there for all. I don't know anything about that, Aaron. For those of you that just kind of, yeah, I won't forget the dogs. They're coming with me. For those of you that missed it a little bit earlier, I did kind of go over. I saw a thing earlier that basically sparked me to go back and audit all of our dueling demo sheets. I did find a few discrepancies in the mathematics. None of the first day scores affected the top threes. Some of them, I think I had one that affected a fourth and fifth, and a couple that affected like seventh and eighth placements. But I did go through and audit all that stuff and make sure we got those correct at this time. So just so everybody knows, I did do that, and I will be going over the day 2 ones here, hopefully before I leave in the morning, just to double check them. But I guess we learned some lessons there too. So we'll place some things into our process so that doesn't happen again. I apologize to everybody that it did affect, but I'm just gonna man up and take that one on the chin. So hopefully we got that correct now at this time. How many competitors? I think we had 138 that registered, 138 individuals that registered, and I believe 4 to 6 didn't show up. So I'd say around 130 individual competitors. It was around 278 total entries. that's pretty much the information I know off the top of my head. I know there was quite a few folks that came out for the 3X that weren't a part of finals. We appreciate those folks as well. Will MECA be doing finals with any other orgs next year? That's yet to be seen, Aaron. We're not against that, but again, that's another thing. I can't really tell you guys yes or no. I can just tell you that I'm not really against it. If we can make something work out, I think we'd be more than happy to do so. Um, but we'll have to see what comes with time there. Um, like I said, I don't really think, I don't really think it should be an issue if we want to sit down and try to make it happen, but we'll see. Aaron, I've got a little something in my mind for that, but it's hard to add classes when you've already got so many. I mean, we've got a lot of classes. I'm sure there's guys out there that already make fun of us for having too many classes, but I don't necessarily think that's a horrible idea. And I've had an idea for a couple years now for something that I feel like would be cool for those guys. I just haven't really introduced it. I think we had 53 SPL at the 3X, 8 dueling demos, and 3 or 5 SQ cars. That's just a vague remembrance off the top of my head there. Um, so I might have not be 100% right, but I think it was somewhere around 65 total sheets. What's going on, Mr. Antis? What's going on, Mr. Johnson? That's what we were kind of just talking about. I don't really think we're against that. I don't know, I don't really know what the word on the street is. And I learned about, I don't know, a year or so into this that I kind of try to ignore a lot of the Facebook and stuff like that. So, you know, if we can work out the multi org thing, I think we're willing to do so. If that happens, it happens. If not, we'll do our thing again. But one way or another, we'll be doing what we do for all you guys in there. So I do believe I am gonna have some for you, Mr. Walt. Yeah, I talked to Mr. Andreas quite a bit. It's pretty good peoples. I mean, I know I keep seeing people say I want to see them all together, but I, do you guys actually understand how many organizations there is at this point? I mean, I think there's upwards of 30 at this point. So, and I know not, I know what, I know everybody will, some people won't care, some people won't care, but I guess what I'm saying is there's upwards of 30 organizations, no matter how big or small they are, they're still competition organizations. And, you know, I don't think that there's a good way to get 30 different organizations together. But as far as working together with other organizations, I will say, just being transparent. Yeah, Shannon and I have, we have our own ideas. We have, the way we want things to be. We have a vision. Um, I want to. I bought this organization and did this because, as a competitor and a judge, and I guess basically coming out of the mud in this hobby, I wanted to do something bigger with car audio, and that means we got to step outside of the box a little bit. And some folks aren't quite prepared to do that yet, but um, I'm willing to do what I do and see what I can make happen. The worst thing that can happen is we stay where we're at, but I'm constantly trying to figure out ways to try to level this thing up, and that's really what I'm trying to do, is level this thing up. And sometimes that takes some unconventional thinking, but I think in the long run, as adults, if we could all sit down together, we might be able to figure some things out together. And I think some of that stuff might be on the way. Some of it might not. I might be a little extra hopeful, but I do know that my vision and my goals would be faster achieved if we did work together. So, it's never been my intention to necessarily stop that. So I guess that's just to be clear about with everybody. It's just that I have a different way of how I think things should be, I guess. Let's see. What's going on, Mr. Zink? And it might. I mean, Aaron, that's true to an extent, but catching up with the chat over here. Sorry. All right. I think I've caught up. I think I've caught up now. So yeah, I'm sure my dryer drum's full of money. I probably ought to take it apart before I go on vacation. Yeah, I mean, I understand, what the competitors want. I understand that. I used to be one. So, I can relate to it. And, like I said, I think if we could make it happen, I am willing to try to make it happen. But, I also, like I kind of mentioned earlier, I have a plan and a vision, for what I want to do next. And I don't know if that aligns with all that stuff or not. But no matter what, even if I can accomplish what I want to accomplish, I wouldn't be against having the other orgs with us. I've never really been against that. I do know that, from my personal take, I'm pretty sure we're the only organization that really actually goes out and rents our own venues for regular season events. We invite people to those shows. We try to accomplish that for you guys. A lot of times they come out and all that good stuff, and a lot of people keep asking me, but I'm not, I don't really feel like I'm the one stopping it. I'm not necessarily the one reaching out anymore, but I've invited other organizations to events that are actually my events. It's not somebody else putting it on. They're my events. And I can say that that favor doesn't get returned to me. So, that's just being clear and transparent as well. So, you know, maybe the pressure belongs somewhere else on that one. What's going on, Mr. Cody? What's going on, Mr. Matt? Yep, that's the first rule we're changing. Actually, Peach, I was gonna tell everybody next year we're gonna start fusing again. So everybody get ready. If I was a competitor, that's the first thing I'd be doing is testing my fuses and figuring out which ones I'm gonna use all year. You're gonna need the best ones you can get. I think it's actually a quarter or something, but yeah, it is something rolling around in my dryer for sure. I was just joking about the fuses. No, it was a joke. I was teasing Peach. Quit! Don't freak out, everybody. I was just teasing Peaches. I mean, to an extent, to an extent there, Miss Wendy, but I don't know. We could get into a deep dive about that, but it mostly depends mostly on who's putting it together more than it does who's there. But that could be a deep dive starting in on that. But like I said earlier, and I'll say it again, I'm not against working with anybody, but I can tell you I sure in the heck am against working with people that want to talk a bunch of smack and then expect me to come be their friend. So there's that too. Maybe it's maybe that's what it is, but what's going on, Mr. Irvin, Mr. Danny? Shoot, I don't know, Aaron, when the last Boom and Zoom was done. Probably 2012 ish, maybe. Yeah, so some of those DJ guys, Frankie, they have tracks that are set basically to exactly what our rule book says, and it fluctuates one frequency or whatever every 5 seconds, and they will sound that way. But they do meet the actual rule requirements. So I mean, I guess you could view it either way you'd like there, Frankie. Catching up, catching up. Anytime there, Frankie. I mean, it is supposed to be a musical average, but like I said, I think there's a couple of them out there. There's a few tracks that some of these DJ guys have made, and they basically make it do exactly what the rule book says, and you have to kind of watch the meter to see it do what it's supposed to do. Because if you're just listening to it, yeah, it does kind of sound like a straight tone. Yeah, I do. That's probably a good idea. I do want to go ahead and thank all my judges that helped us this weekend. I haven't got around to making a post. I kind of came home, and then Monday I kind of took a lazy day, and then yesterday we spent all day trying to get the scores right, and then I needed to get my oil changed and a couple things done at the house today, and I did that, and then I saw something on the book there I didn't really care for, so I sat down and started going back through all the dueling demo sheets there, and I got that squared away. Oh, they're definitely tones, but they're laced like just for example, if you watch the meter, it'll fluctuate from 40 to 43 or 40 to 41 and then go right back to where it was. And all the rule book says is it has to fluctuate. So that's a fluctuation. So you actually have to watch the meter to see it fluctuate. All right, Wayne. Thanks for the reminder, man. yeah, I don't know that it's hard, and maybe we should look at doing something a little bit different. I'm not sure what it would be though. Oh, don't I know? I mean, I don't disagree with that, Charles. Um, I think somebody's at least tied him, Frankie. I can't remember off the top of my head. There might be one person that has beat it. I'll have to go back and look at that, Cody. I know we uploaded those off the Term Labs, and I have not really double checked much of the SPL stuff yet. I was gonna say I do think Anthony did get past him at least once. That's something, Mr. Street. We've already talked about that a little bit too, because really well, I guess I'll pull this question up here so people can see what I'm talking about. Really, that's kind of the whole reason why I allow the sandbags is for safety reasons. So I've already been having some discussion about that. So I would expect to see a few more things go in that section of the rules. Thanks, Mr. Art. What's going on, Mr. Dominic? Well, I like the bags just because I don't mind the bags. I mean, I know you DB drag minded guys mind them, but I don't mind the bags. But you know, I did initially allow it because I've had a couple of friends fall through windows. So that's why I initially even started with the sandbags when I tested myself. And then you know, I guess we decided to start allowing it about 4 years ago now, maybe 5, or was it 3? I don't know, 3 to 5 years. No, there's a limit on bags, Aaron. There is a limit on bags already, just not on people yet. Oh, did I say that out loud yet? Um, a few of my judge guys and R&E guys are already kind of working on that. Obviously, if you want to talk about that, Matt, I'm open for suggestions and things of that nature. Um, I mean, I kind of I kind of lean on some other people to help with the SQ side of things, obviously. So we're gonna hear those guys out and kind of go from there. I know there's a few things in there that we've discussed briefly about maybe tweaking a little bit, but I don't see any major changes coming in that regard as far as sound quality is concerned. Maybe some clarification things, and I don't know. We might look at music a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, we are going to work on the SQ rule book a little bit this year for sure. I'm catching up over here. I don't know any classes where roof racks aren't allowed, other than maybe park and pound, and I think we'll even allow that as long as there's nothing on it or it's not loaded down. There's no advantage to anybody with sandbags and people. Everybody's got sandbags and people, don't they? I don't understand why that's. I don't even really understand why that's even an issue. But I do think there was a few cars I saw that had more people on them than I'd like to see. But I don't mind letting people have advantages that everybody can have. I mean, it's not like everybody can't go buy a sandbag. And if the sandbags don't help your car, then your car's probably already gooder anyways. So I don't know. That's just my take on it. I've done a lot of burps. I might know a thing or two or a thing or two. I don't really find it to be an advantage. What's going on, Jim? I don't know that I would call them significant, but yeah, there will be some changes. There's some wording and stuff that will be changing. We're definitely going to be discussing some things for the M4, M5, maybe some of the XM classes. I don't really foresee us adding a class, but I can see us. I think we're going to definitely look at a few things and kind of go from there. We'll see how the discussions go. It might turn out we do need to add a class, but like I said a little bit earlier in the live, I feel like we've got plenty of classes. We want people competing against each other, so I feel like we've got plenty of classes. But I do think I think there's adjustments to be made. But I'm going to probably sit here in another 365 days and say the same thing because I've been doing this for 20 years and I don't think any of us will ever be perfect at it. And we're always going to find something in there that we didn't see or something that, somebody does that we're like, man, we got to kind of tweak this or that. I've been doing it for a long time and it seems like we can find something every season. So You know, I don't think it'll be anything too significant, no. But um, like I said, we will be making some adjustments like we always do. Yeah, I understand that, Mr. Arndt. Now, I definitely said gooder, but I did that on purpose. So I mean, I call that Bud Bonics. I don't have I don't have golf carts and classes with motorcycles, Robert. So I'm not sure 100% what you're talking about there. We have motorcycle classes. The class where the golf cart would go is called open class, which I guess maybe if you're on an extreme motorcycle, maybe that's where it does fall currently. So maybe that's where you're at. I guess I didn't quite think that one all the way through before I started spitting stuff out. But most of the motorcycles, there's a separate class for. Yeah, Walt, I do too. And the longer the season went on, the more I found. And but if you wouldn't mind, if you would like to, send me some notes on that, I'd be more than happy to look at that and take what you have to say into consideration moving forward. And I mean that goes for. I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but that goes for all of you. If you guys want to take the time to sit down and look at it, I'm more than willing to take your feedback and see what we can all do together. Um, what if I just had the sandbags there to rent then, Aaron? Chris Caudill. I am looking at that and I have an idea and I have something in mind to rectify that. I don't foresee it happening this coming season, but I would say by the beginning of 2025, we'll have a new meter stand and a new jig. Don't tell anybody I said that. I've got to make myself a couple of prototypes and make sure I can make it do what I want, and then I will release what I have in my mind. All right, Mr. Matt. We will take a look at that. I don't know what you're talking about there, Charles, or if you're talking about the XM stuff, but yeah, that did get suggested last year, and it got pushed away. And I'm actually getting a little bit more reception to it this time. So, just calm down and just give it some time and see what happens. I don't know what reasoning that you're talking about there, but so there's a reason for that, Charles. So when you're doing a subjective listening class like sound quality or dueling demos, I will never give you the results until it's over. Um, the judges are trying to do the job that they came to do the best they can. I'm not saying that they don't make mistakes, but at the end of the day, sound quality and dueling demos are um, opinion of the judge. We try to make them as objective as possible, but at the end of it all, you're getting an opinion. So, just for example, let's say I hand everybody their score sheet after their run and everybody knows what they got. That means that the crying and complaining is going to start a lot sooner. And that's not going to help them judges stay in a fair mindset for the rest of the competitors. So that there is a reason for that, and that's the reason you don't want the judges in a different mind space because somebody runs up complaining about what they did. I'm not saying that, like I said, I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying that, but the closer we get to perfect, the more that will make sense, because what happens is no matter what, somebody will be upset because they don't like their score. And when that happens, you could, and if you go up in the middle of the show while they're still trying to judge, that's going to affect their mindset. So the goal there is for the judges to keep the same mindset throughout the entirety of judging those vehicles. It's not because we're punishing you. It's not because we don't want you to know. It's because of that specific reason. But that would be fun. I'd be down for that. That's funny, Dan. Shannon's talked about that for a long time. We've talked about that, but we haven't really introduced anything like that at this point. Chris Caudell, this is something I've been thinking about for 2 years, and it's going to just, we're going to rectify that. I have a plan. It's just going to be, like I said, it's just going to probably take, I'm going to have to get new stands made, and I've got 2 or 3 different ways I'm thinking about doing it, and I'm going to have to basically do some testing with them. And once I have that, I've already got a pretty good idea what I want to do. I do think we will clean up some of the wording on, how it's placed, even with the stand we have now. But like I said, I would expect 2025. Um, I'm going to probably be coming out with the new headrest stand and a new jig. So, um, bear with me for a few more minutes on that one, and we'll get to rectifying that. I've been thinking about it for a little bit now, and I think I've got it halfway figured out. I just got to get the R&D done. It was around 130 or 135 people, Mr. Matt Lamb. I don't think that's going to always work, Charles, but it might. That's another thing I've talked about, Aaron. I'm planning on introducing that to DD for sure. We already use RTAs and SQ. If you're talking about dueling demos there, Jack, you know, yeah, even though that's the spread, dueling demos is in its infancy. And if I've said this once, I've probably said it a bunch of times. I think I'm the only one that I'm aware of that's putting a score on it. It's only had a score sheet for 2 years. I have a good idea of what we want. I think we've gone a couple steps in the right direction there. But at this point, we've made it to the point where, I'm working on actually coming up with a training program for that rather than just trying to sit and explain it. So, no matter what, you're getting somebody's opinion, and you're always going to have differences in some places, no matter what. But I would like to see that gap close myself. You're not really saying anything I'm not aware of, and that's just as much my fault as it is theirs. And that's just something else I'm sit here and tell you. We're working on it the best we can, but I could do it like everybody else and basically not give you no scores and just say, oh, that guy won. And when you ask me why, I just pull it out of my butt, you know. So I guess really that's what kind of bothers me. We're trying to give everybody something better, something that matters, something that's legitimate. And, like I said, at the end of it all, no matter what, it's that judge's opinion. You don't have to like it, but trust me, we are trying to get everybody more on the same page and get that together. But it's not necessarily a sound quality thing, and it's not an SPO thing. And we've only been putting scores on it for 2 years. So I mean, it's pretty easy to judge car. I mean, I could just take the score sheets away and just tell them, well, just pick a winner. It's pretty easy then, because then I don't have to answer to nobody, right? That's the way I see it. So I mean, we could go back to that if everybody feels more comfortable with that. So I mean, I guess really what I'm getting at with the doing demo stuff is, you know, you guys really aren't saying a whole lot that I'm not aware of. It's all stuff that's a lot easier to talk about than it is to do. But I'm doing the best I can to do my part, and hopefully my judges are going to do the same thing, and we'll keep on moving the right way. What's going on, Mr. Allen? And we already used the RTA, Aaron, and the RTA ain't going to do what we need it to do. I do think I could maybe use it for maybe one of the sections and take guessing out of it. And that's something we've been discussing too. So you won't never see it. Oh no, I'm gonna keep the score sheets. I don't know, I guess I was just trying to get folks to understand that we really are trying to do something better, and I feel we're revolutionizing something. And as much as you guys don't want to hear it and I don't like it, I feel like we're probably never going to get it perfectly right. and I'd say that I feel that we're probably another season or two away from getting close. But I can tell you that, everybody on my team, myself included, we're trying to offer you the fairest format possible, with the feedback. And even if you don't like that judge's opinion, at least you know what his opinion or her opinion is. Um, you know, and that's the maybe I should have answered that a little bit differently. Yeah, I plan on doing some tweaking with the score sheet too, Matt. Well, I know that also, Mr. Vinny. Now that one I might be able to work out. I'm not sure, Mr. Hunt, but I might be able to figure that one out as far as getting the wattage with the scores. No, I said I'm going on vacation, but to be honest with you guys, I probably ain't gonna be able to forget about MECA for more than 10 minutes. This is what I breathe. I know a couple people saw me this weekend. I got a little emotional. My back was bothering me pretty bad. I might have snapped a couple times on people. I didn't really mean to, but my back was bothering me pretty bad, and there was a couple of things that happened that I wasn't necessarily mad at the person that was talking to me, but I was kind of mad about the situation in general. So, but I've been kind of ready for vacation there, Aaron, but it won't. I don't know. It won't stop. This has been my life for a part of my life for a long time now, and I personally feel like, yeah, there was ups and downs at the show. It was a roller coaster. That's what I always expect at World Finals. But I personally feel like that, we had a great event. It seemed to me like the majority of people had a great time, even if they did get upset at some point. I got to, spend time with a big old dysfunctional family. I got to share a lot of moments with people, a lot of happy moments, a lot of frustrating moments. And for me, that's kind of what it's all about. But I don't know if there's anything wrong with me. It's probably that I actually do care an awful lot about each and every one of you. And uh, I don't know. A lot of decisions are a catch 22, but you have to make decisions. So, that's what I do. That's what I signed up for. And I'm going to keep on doing it. But, you know, yeah, I still don't. I didn't really listen to all the cars there, and I'm not gonna sit here and argue about that one neither, about loudness and clarity. But the clarity definitely outweighs the loudness, regardless. But unfortunately, part of doing demos is loudness, because as as well as anybody can turn it up with no effort, well, anybody can turn it down and make it sound good. So, you know, especially if you're in a higher class, I would suggest just figuring out how to bring some volume. So that argument kind of goes both ways, in my opinion. But I've seen that as well, Chris. And I'm not going to say that you might not be wrong, but I didn't actually listen to very many of the cards this weekend, so I don't have an honest opinion about this last weekend. But I mean, some people thinks their vehicles have no problem, and they do. I'm catching up over here on the chat, guys. I know I've been going for a while tonight. I guess what I was kind of alluding to earlier, Chris, like, just because your car might be a little easier to listen to sometimes, and I'm not speaking about your specific vehicle, I'm just trying to speak in general here. But like, I know sometimes, like, I've heard a few cars where I thought their low end and their low side mid range sounded pretty good, but then the highs and the upper mid didn't sound that good, because it was just too much, too bright, whatever. But then I might listen to the next car, and their mids and highs might sound pretty good, but then their low end mid bass starts to sound kind of hollow. If that makes any sense. And it probably has something to do with where you're cutting things. I'm not really a SQ type of a guy, obviously. I'm just kind of trying to explain, my thought process. So, one guy, just because you could really hear that he's distorted in the highs, and that's what kind of hurts your ears. So, yes, while that is a problem, the other guy might have a problem in the low range. And does that make that vehicle much easier to listen to? Yes. But with all things being fair, it's still an issue. It's just in a different spectrum of the sound. So you might be, it might have something to do with that. There's a lot of stuff that goes into trying to judge it, and like I said, I'm not going to claim it's perfect. I just got done going through all the sheets. I see some things that we got to talk about, and see some things we got to work on. I hear all you guys. I see I see your suggestions. I hear your complaints. Like I said, even when I don't address you, I probably saw it. I do take almost everything into consideration. That doesn't mean it gets done, or it doesn't mean that we always get what we want out of it. But I can tell you that I'm constantly trying to figure out how to do better, and so that means I've constantly got to listen. And I'm still learning. I've only been driving this car for a couple years now. I've learned a lot in the last 2 years, and I'm looking forward to learning some more. And that's kind of what I've always done, is tried to keep my ear on the street, and then try to make decisions that I feel like are best for our club as a whole. It's not about just you or just me, it's about us. And so that's kind of what I do. And that's why I'm saying, if you have suggestions, send them in. I want to see them. you know so I'm catching up again, y'all. Lucas and Albuquerque. So Lucas, I'm assuming you might be one of Steven's people down there. We usually send stickers and things like that to in all of our membership packets. You can sign up to be members right there on the website, mechacaraudio.com. And you'll get stickers that way. And then we also, once you're a member, we have milestone stickers for sound quality, dueling demos, sound pressure, park and pound. And each time you hit a milestone, you'll get that sticker. So I mean, I'd love to send you guys some stickers and stuff. Um, get online there, become members, go check out Steven. He's got some shows going on there in New Mexico. And like I said, reach out to us. Okay, you may. My daughter's the one that she puts together all the memberships and stuff like that. But like I said, once you guys become members, when your membership packet arrives, if you did a score at the first show you attended, you might get a milestone sticker there. But we usually send, like a regular MECA sticker. Sometimes some of our manufacturer retail members will give us some stickers. We'll include things like that. I didn't mean to make you feel that way either, Chris. If I did, I know uh, sometimes these conversations about these things are a little bit difficult because at the end of the day, we're all very passionate about car audio. So I wasn't trying to make you feel like I felt like that way either. I was just trying to I guess, answer the questions to the best of my ability. And even though that might sound a little argumentative or whatever, it's just food for thought. And, we can continue the conversation. And I guess what I'm saying is like sometimes I might be here and you might be here, but maybe we can, and there might be a line here, but like maybe we could come over here and touch hands. And when we figure that out, then we got something better than we both thought we had. So, the conversations, I'm all about it. So, don't think that. Yeah, Preston, I agree with you. And, there's some things in the rule book. Like I said, there's some things there that I accept responsibility for. Like, if you actually read the rule book, loudness isn't actually worth 30 points. It's only worth 25. But I kept the old score sheets in play this year because I had 2 boxes of them. And, I think that's close to 600 to $800 worth of just paper. So I was trying to get through those score sheets. So even though we broke down in the rule book what we were doing and we tried to teach that at the training, I think the score sheet helps with some of the confusion. So we'll be revising the score sheet and definitely coming out with a new score sheet here soon. So I appreciate that feedback. Like I said, a lot of the stuff you guys are throwing, like most of it, I already see it and we're already trying to work on it. So, but again, keep on letting us know what you guys see, and we'll keep on doing the best we can to, do better. We'll see you later, Jay or Andreas. Well, I guess, did any other guys have any other questions for me this evening? One more time, I want to thank everybody for a great World Finals. I know there's some things, and like I said, we're working on all that stuff. And, just bear with us for a couple months. We'll have the new rule book ready. I don't see a whole lot. We're not going to change a whole lot of stuff there. But, well, what's up, Aaron? But again, I want to thank all the competitors for coming out. I want to congratulate all my new world champions, all the new MECA world champions. Congratulations, guys. You did it. I want to thank our sponsors for finals. Um, our main sponsors, Chiare, Brandex, Only Tents, MC Window Tinting. I know there was others. I think I can't remember them all off the top of my head, so I ain't even going to keep on going from there. The next finals date ain't. I don't have that yet for you, Mr. Aaron. Sorry. All right. So, I mean, it looks like we're good, but like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm gonna try my best to be on here again next week. If for some reason I can, I'll let you guys know. But I had a ball this season. I'm pretty sure the majority of you guys did as well. Those of you that are upset right now with MECA or with myself, whatever, I still love you. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do, no matter what you do or where you go. Um, this car audio thing only goes with us, and all you guys are the superstars. So I'm looking forward to what next year brings. We got a lot of growth on the calendar. I think I saw somebody ask something about Illinois a little bit earlier. If you check out the event calendar online, I think I missed them, but I think we've got 12 to 15 shows already scheduled in Illinois. About the same amount scheduled in Oklahoma. We've got 8 or 10 already on the schedule in Georgia. Got 8 or 10 already in Kentucky here. So shows are already hitting the calendar. I think there's around 50 or 60. You wasn't supposed to tell nobody yet, Whitney. But I think that's all I got for this evening. And like I said, I'm looking forward to next year. Jeff. Looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to hopefully doing it bigger and better. And I'm definitely looking forward to pushing the ball in the right direction on these rules and stuff for you guys. And I hope everybody has a good night, has a good rest of their week. And, I think everybody knows the drill. Until next time, keep it loud and clear, MECA heads.